Hey, Megapodzilla's Crazy Joe here. We're coming to you for today from the Virginia extension of the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum. This location here, as opposed to the one in Washington, has more aircraft and spaceships and things than the Washington one. And I am not an airplane connoisseur. There are some people that love airplanes, know everything about airplanes. I'm not one of those guys. But the sheer history in here is pretty interesting, and there's some pretty cool things I could show you. This is the Space Shuttle Discovery. That ship has been in space. Take a look at that. Pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. All right, here we are getting up close and personal with the Space Shuttle Discovery. Take a look at that. Now, I had always heard that the Space Shuttle had lots of little tiles on it. That's something I've always heard, but this is the first time I've ever been up close enough to see them. It's pretty amazing. Let's get a closer look. This is pretty awesome.
It has so many dents.
Kira, that is a space shuttle that has been in space. What do you think?
And that missile.
Pretty amazing, isn't it?
Kira, that missile up there.
As you can see, I want to give you a close-up look at the hopefully it'll not and bad for anybody.
Take a look at these satellites up here. This is pretty cool. Satellites and probes hanging from the ceiling. Try to get some good shots of them here. It's pretty impressive. Look at that. Apollo 11. This is the Apollo boilerplate command module. All right, we have here the Gemini 7, and it says that this was in space in 1965. And here's something interesting. One of the astronauts on board this ship was James Lovell Jr., who you may know as the commander of Apollo 13. If you've ever seen the movie Apollo 13 or know your history, he was on this ship. Okay, you may remember back in 2007, in honor of Star Wars' 30th anniversary, the U.S. Postal Service turned several mailboxes into replicas of R2-D2. And I never actually saw one. Now, there was one of the R2-D2 mailboxes was near my home in Phoenix, Arizona at the time, but I never made it out there, and eventually they turned it back. But here is one of those mailboxes right here. Check that out. It's pretty cool. Neat stuff. Now this phone booth here is a phone booth shaped like
The thing from
a
Doctor
rocket.
Who.
It's shaped like a rocket,
No, it's like the thing from
a Mercury spacecraft. This phone booth here is from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. And this was actually a working phone booth in that Kennedy Space Center for a number of years And now it's here. Very cool.
C3PO.
Check out this cool display of all this vintage sci-fi memorabilia. We've got all these cool ray guns. Lots of different ray guns from over the years. Look at them all. We've got Flash Gordon stuff. There is Buck Rogers stuff in there. Lots of cool vintage stuff. Tom Corbett Space Cadet. Now some of you may think Tom Corbett is only the former governor of Pennsylvania, but no, he is also a space cadet. And check out these awesome vintage lunch boxes. Now I don't know if any of my viewers know this, but I collect vintage metal lunch boxes, and I would love to have any of those in my collection, but quite frankly, I couldn't afford any of those. There's Tweaky from Buck Rogers. Beady, 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 beady. We got the original Mego Star Trek toys from '74. Very cool. I have replicas of most of those, but not the originals. Vintage Kenner Star Wars figures. Very cool. Space Patrol. Look at these. Old Space Barbies. Very cool. Babylon 5. Oh, look at this. Babylon 5. There's Jakar. Yeah. I'm a big Babylon 5 fan. And here is Captain Video. It's an old 50s sci-fi show. My favorite robot of all time, Robbie the Robot. This is a Japanese toy. Japanese manufacturer Noruma Toy produced several versions of an unlicensed Robbie the Robot from Forbidden Planet. There is another one very similar to Robbie the Robot, but it's got a human face. This is great stuff. Check it out. It's an android. Yeah, it's an android, Kira. Okay, this is cool. The mothership from Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Apparently this is the actual screen-used model. Now, I can't find it, but the description on here says that they used model train parts, and it also says that R2-D2 is in there. I don't know if it was an R2-D2 Kenner figure or what, but I can't find it. It probably wasn't a Kenner figure though, because Star Wars and Close Encounters both came out the same year. In fact, Lucas and Spielberg had a bet over which movie was going to make more money. So the Kenner figures would not have been out yet. So I'm not quite sure what the R2-D2 is in there. Or maybe they just made a mistake. Oh, wait a minute, wait a minute. My brilliant brother-in-law Michael has found R2-D2. There he is.
There it is.
Right there on the edge.
Oh, I see him.
Thank you, Michael. Check out these model rockets. These are models.
I mean, for that whole
Very
50s
cool.
and 60s and 70s.
Look at this one. Centaur rocket. That is a Centaur rocket. Now clearly that means that this rocket is half horse. Airplanes everywhere. Look at these planes. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. The X-Men have arrived. I can't wait for Logan to get off the plane. I want to get Wolverine's autograph. There's no wheelchair ramp. How does Professor X get on there? Nazis. I hate these guys. Now, do you see that plane behind me with the R on it and the number 82? interestingly enough, this is the actual plane that dropped the bomb on Hiroshima in World War II. Now, no matter what your opinion might be on dropping the bomb in World War II, obviously it's a controversial issue. I think we can agree that that's a pretty important piece of history right there, and it's kind of cool to see it in person. It connects you with history, and it's very cool. And as you can see, Kira is completely overwhelmed.
And there's also
Very cool. That is the Concorde right there. The Air France plane you're looking at, that is the Concorde. All right, look at this. It is a piece of the Goodyear blimp. That is the control car to the Goodyear blimp. So you could just imagine the giant blimp above that. Let's see. Here's a picture. There it is. You can see it in action. The bottom of the blimp. There it is. And you can see, look how small that is compared to the rest of the blimp. And now that's in front of you. So you could just imagine how big the blimp must be. That is awesome. Very, very neat. And here we have a model of the Goodyear blimp. Really cool. You know, I've heard it said that donation is the greatest nation on earth, and I gotta disagree. I'm gonna go with urination, because I think we can all agree that when you gotta go, you really gotta go, and there's no greater relief. So count my vote for the greatest nation on earth being urination. All right, apparently, according to this sign here, some scenes from Transformers Revenge of the Fallen were shot here. Now, I am not a fan of the Transformers movies. In fact, I think they're pretty terrible, but it's still kind of cool. And they have a whole display of Transformers stuff here because of that fact. Very neat. Little footnote. Starscream. There's some props from the movie Revenge of the Fallen. Look, there's John Turturro's ID badge. It's cool. Fragment of the Allspark cube. I didn't care for these movies. That's just me, though. If you like them, yeah, that's cool. I didn't like them. Okay, we're wrapping up our day. We're in the gift shop, and I gotta say, this mug, pretty cool. I don't need any mugs, though. I got a lot of mugs. Too many mugs. But it's pretty cool. While you're here, be sure and check out the Space Hangar. The Space Hangar is not to be missed. Have a safe trip home.